Children are amongst the most vulnerable road users in South Africa, with crashes being the second leading cause of death for children aged between 5 and 14 years. According to Child Safe South Africa, child pedestrians and child passengers are particularly vulnerable, constituting 62% and 36% of road fatalities respectively. Our reporter, Sentleeng Lehihi, brings us more details as she is currently attending the 10th Annual Child Health Priorities Conference at the North West University's Potchefstroom campus.
Second day of the Child Health Priorities Conference here at the North West University's Potchefstroom campus in the Northwest is continuing in earnest. We've seen quite a number of speakers speak at length about issues that affect and impact child health priorities and why it is necessary that these are prioritized when we look at all issues relating and affecting the child. We've heard about issues around mortality figures that have been taken there, how statistics don't necessarily correlate with the reality, and we've spoken about the harsh reality of having to bury a child. But we're also now going to speak about, raising a child and the importance of breastfeeding, and also speaking about the dangers in contaminated breast milk. For more on this touching topic, we're joined by Professor Hank Bowman from the North West University. Prof, just tell us, we believe breast milk is the way to go, but there seems to be challenges.
We also have to keep in mind that there are issues associated with that. We know of cases, and especially in malaria control areas, where DDT has been picked up in quite high numbers or quite high concentrations in the breast milk, and this complicates the discussion, of course. So the mother transfers a lot of the DDT that she has in the body to the baby, and we need to make sure and investigate what the potential problems are by transferring DDT from the mother to the baby.
This is a catch-22. DDT is critical in our battle against malaria, but now it's finding its way in compromising child health.
Definitely. The people that do the malaria control in the various provinces, they do a fantastic job. So the mortality and the morbidity is really low. And we have to give credit to them doing a very, very difficult job. But we also need to take into cognizance that we're fighting something bad with something that's not quite good. That would be DDT or any other insecticide that's being used for malaria control, being sprayed inside the dwellings of the people that live there.
Now, while we're well aware of the different dangers and contaminants outside, what are we to do about the contaminants and chemicals that we use in our households every day?
We need to make sure that we stay on top of the different exposures that we have. We have to do research and figure out what is where, and if they're toxic, what kind of precautions we can take. One of the precautions, of course, is to ban the stuff that we know is toxic and to get rid of it. The Stockholm Convention, for instance, and I wasn't part of the negotiations for the Stockholm Convention, including DDT, but also quite a number of other chemicals, have banned or severely restricted the use and production of these chemicals.
We're also looking at conversations around the vulnerability of children, particularly in road crashes. And for more details on this pivotal topic, we're joined by Ali Jan Mohammed from Child Safe. Thank you very much for your time, Ali. Can you just tell us, when we talk about children in road crashes, what are the numbers, what is the reality, and what should be done?
Yeah, thank you for having me. One of the things that we have seen with road traffic crashes is many people think that they're accidents. And what accidents means is that they're inevitable. It was bound to happen. But what we find is road traffic crashes are completely preventable. And they're impacting children a lot, because 1,300 children every year die on the road because of road traffic crashes. Now think about it, 1,300 children for preventable thing, something that is completely preventable. And those are road fatalities only. We have another 27,000 children that are being injured on the road. And sometimes it's a disability injury, that the child cannot walk, cannot play around anymore, and they were born to do that. One of the things that we have learned is that child road fatalities and road fatalities in general are a public health concern. Now, not a road traffic department problem. If the transport department alone does this work, they will not solve it. So we need coordination from the Department of Transport, Department of Health, Department of Education, and other NGOs like ours in order to prevent these road injuries. I want to give it especially a bit of concern on pedestrians and passengers, because 62% of child road fatalities are pedestrians. and another 36% are child passengers.
Now, tell us, what are we to do as road users to be conscious of the vulnerability of children who are also using our roads?
Yeah, so you know, there is no one answer. In reality, when we did our research, we found that there are 10 things that we need to do as a society, from the government right down to the user. Now, one of the things for pedestrians, for example, is speed. You know, our speeds in school areas and residential areas where children are living and where children are studying is 60 kilometers per hour, which is very high. Now, research shows that if a child is hit at 60 kilometers per hour, the chance of death is 90%. But if you reduce that to 30 kilometers per hour, the chance of death and serious injury reduces significantly to 10%. And why can't we make the change? I know it's an inconvenience for road users, but we can, you know, we can make a difference. For child passengers, the other challenge is child restraints. We did research last year and we found that 86% of parents do not or guardians do not restrain their children on the road. Now, there is a law in South Africa that says children under the age of 3 need to be restrained in a properly SABC approved child restraint. And the other law is that children older than that have to be put in a seatbelt. But many people do not do that. Even high-income people are not restraining their children on the road. Now, the challenge with that leads to 36% road fatalities, right? And at the same time, the chance of death is quite high. We use a child restraint and the chance of reducing road fatalities reduces by 80%. That's significant. And it's a small difference that we can make, you know.
Most certainly. Thank you very much for your time. And that's the word we have from Ali Jam Mohammed. You know, consciousness on our roads will not only save our lives, but will save the most delicate and vulnerable members of our society. For more deliberations on what's going on here at the 10th Child Health Priorities Conference, we'll keep giving you rolling coverage. For now, back to you in studio.